Hi, I'm Pauline.
Hey, I'm Priscilla.
I'm Pearl.
And I'm Tamiron, and this is a P3T podcast.
Woo!
Yeah. Okay. Welcome to this week's episode of the P3T podcast. I think nobody has ever done this before. So before we go further, or before we go on, I just want to know how you guys have been, how your week has been, how you've been. You know, tell me and us as the audience how you've been. I think we'll start with Priscilla.
My week has been good. I think there's like an outbreak of like a flu, but we are recuperating. We're recuperating, and I am doing well. So we thank God.
Amen. Paul?
As we are speaking, I am drinking hot water. Mimi hizo zote imenishika, si sore throat ya Rama, ni sore throat ya watoto wa primary.
Guys, so unajua those sore throats and homas for kids.
They're usually so bad. And it's so annoying. Like, was I not a kid? Have I not built immunity?
Exactly.
So my sore throat is sore throating with tonsillitis. But it's okay. It's okay. Hata leo sisi kula vitu tamu. Takula banana, nikunywa maji moto, nilale.
Pauline.
Mimi, I think I deserve makofi. Nimemaliza exams. Yeah, so I'm feeling like a weight has just been lifted because I don't know what it is about exam period, because like my exams I only had many of them were hard, but like there aren't those hard ones where you just want to give up. Like they are just those hard ones for where I should have read a bit more. But like the exam season itself, it's like the season just comes with exhaustion. Like just because it's the weeks for exam, you're tired. Like, you haven't read that much, but you're just tired. So I've been a bit fatigued these past 2 weeks, but now I'm good because tumemaliza.
Mi niko na hiyo zodhrot wanaongelelea, but then mi si nimekata kusikiza. I think before we started, Pearl warned me that our crisps have sugar. So May refused because crisps are a salty snack. Now I'm feeling the effect, as she was saying.
Maji moto.
But you know what? Kani tunakufanga tu hivi.
We are not there.
I know. I'm not.
We shall talk to you tomorrow. Tutakuja kesho.
Enjoy life. Kesho when things are bad, okay, I'll take care. But then today,
do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll worry about it.
Okay, so I think now we'll just delve into the heart or into the meat of the episode. And today we will be talking about, basically time management in uni, out of uni, basically time management in life. So I think before we go any further, I'll just pose a question to you guys. All of us are in uni, and for all of us, we are full-time students. So considering that, how do you find time, or how do you find a balance between school and other things? Because we're in uni, it's not like boarding school where all you had to do was books, school. Now you have school, you're juggling church stuff as well. You're juggling, I don't know, for me, I'm juggling sports as well. So how do you find the balance between school and all these things? I guess we'll start with Pauline or Priscilla. Priscilla will start for us again.
I think for me, how I manage to somewhat like juggle school and other things is by being accountable. I don't know, for myself. I'm accountable for myself. So I work well with planning. So with having a stipulated time to do something, it really helps me or saves me from a lot. And I'm able to concentrate and focus on one thing, and then when I'm done with it, I focus on another. So I give ample time and attention to everything I do. So with making, let's say, like for me, I do online classes, and the thing about online classes, you have to have high accountability for yourself, and you need to be very responsible. So I have a timetable that I've worked out. So let's say Thursday I am going to do revision, Friday I'm going to start on my assignment, Saturday I'm going to do this. So having that worked out and then following it really helps me to like also create time for, let's say, chilling, hanging out with friends, doing other things, working out. So yeah.
I like what you said. Making a plan and sticking to it. I'm an excellent planner. Yeah, when it comes to executing a plan, we have a bit of an issue.
It's like the person who planned and the person who needs to execute are two different people.
Two people. Yeah. Two completely different people.
Unakana psych.
By the way,
have
I usually have
different
so much energy. You're there like, I'm gonna wake up at like 6 a.m. I'm going to, for me, let me speak for myself. I'm going to work out. Then I come back, I prepare for school. Then I go to school.
Hallelujah.
Then, there's always like a plan. And then in the evening, I'm always like, from 9 to 11, I'm going to study.
Wow.
And also make time for the Lord.
Amen.
Quiet time.
Period.
Knowing very well.
Have I ever followed through with that time?
Not really. You really tell yourself, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. Knowing very well the last time you woke up at 6 a.m. was when you were in high school. Why do we lie to ourselves like this?
Wanna shout? But anyway, Pal, how do you find the balance?
Okay, so I don't really have a lot going on. I'm not in any club yet. I don't know. I'll probably join one soon. But I don't have a club or a sport or whatever that I devote my time to. The only time I was really busy was like in March and April because I said it before in one of the podcasts. I was involved in running some program in my church. So that took everything out of me because every week I was in charge of planning the games portion of the day. So for the most part, I was one of the only 2 people that did any prep work before the day. So we had the program for 5 weeks. So I had to find 10 games because each week had two games. So I had to find out what games they are doing, although I was working with like 2 other people. But once we found the games that we were doing, because I was one going to coordinate them on the day of, I had to figure out, like if we are doing riddles, I have to find out what riddles we are doing. There's this time we had like a fun day, so the whole day was just games. So I had to figure out A to Z because we sat down as a whole team and said, oh, these are the games we want to play, these are the games we want to do. But you have to organize, like if there are going to be teams, how many people in the team are going to participate in this game, how much time will it take, how is it going to flow, what materials do we need, etc. So I had a team, but like the day before that I had to sit down and write like a full document of how each mini is going to go, so that in my mind on the day of I would be like executing and planning 2 different things, so that on the day of I would be prepared. Anyway, so that was the only time I had things going on. So I don't know, I don't have I have an issue with procrastination because I'll say whatever, but for the most part I like go to school and then I do my classes and I go home and then I sleep. So and then on Saturday I go to church, Sunday I go to church. So it's nothing much, but not in between there. In my day, like I'll make time for maybe making the snippets. Like yesterday, I spent all of yesterday, not all of yesterday, I spent 2 hours yesterday sitting trying to make one of the snippets for the last episode. So yeah, I don't know, I don't have much going on. So I just freestyle too. Like with my Bible study, I used to be consistent, very consistent. But now with my new semester, my schedule has changed. So I don't know. I need to figure
You're still
that
trying to
out.
figure things out.
Yeah.
Hey, there's one thing you said, and it's just, it's one thing to say, okay, like when we were planning for the podcast, it's one, like in our minds, we've decided, okay, we're going to do, we're going to do friendship and social anxiety, we're going to do time. It's so easy to end the conversation there. But then, like, on the day of, you realize, okay, I actually need flesh to this, So, yeah, when you said, like, games are suggested, but then you have to make, like, a whole document about how they'll be executed, I got you.
You feel her.
I feel you.
Thanks.
Queen,
How do you manage?
how do you manage? Yeah.
How do I manage?
Or how do you find a balance? Balance between...
There exists no balance in my life. Balance is a strong word because much like Pearl, I also don't have like too many things going on in my life. Like, it's just school, and then because I am the way I am, I don't read until 1 week before the exam. So, like, I can't even lie to you and say I do be reading. I really don't. Yeah, so I really just go to school, come home, watch a little bit of things, call it a night. Tell myself I'm going to read a novel.
I'm telling myself I need to read for the past, like...
I think it's easier to read in school because there's nothing else to do. So it's your only form of entertainment.
Sure.
But yeah, with all the YouTube and all the Netflix and all the TV. But yeah, so I think the thing that I would say, like, I try to balance is I try to make time to, like, spend time with friends. So that's the thing. I'm starting to try. I've been starting to try from January, but like now I'm starting properly in May. Have I been busy from January to May? No, but so yeah, that's the thing that I think I'm starting to learn how to get that balance, to spend time with friends, but not to the point where I'm draining myself or them. And yeah.
Oh, okay. I think for me, I don't know. When I started uni is when I thought my life would start. All these plans I had would come into play. But then it's not really what's happening. Because...
We have a podcast.
Yeah, you're trying.
Okay, yeah. That's adding into my balance. Balancing school and the podcast. Yeah.
Especially because you edit the episode.
Yeah.
I actually do that.
It's a how to.
But for me, I remember before I even started school, I had a plan. I'd wake up at 6, I'd work out. I'd come back in the evening from like 9 to 7. I wanted to do an extra language. I do BBIT in school. So I wanted to do an extra language from what we were doing in school, an extra coding language. So in my mind, I knew like from 9 to like 11 every day, I'll dedicate that time for that. But let me tell you, since I started school, I only dedicated, like, I've only done that for 1 day. And that was like weeks ago. And then also, genuinely, I also don't really have much going on. I think at the beginning of uni, I tried to have much going on. But then now things have just quieted. Like zimenyamaza tu. I was involved in a sport. Then I don't know. Things just went crumbling down. Not for me particularly, but for us as a club. Not a club, but a sport. Things just started going a bit sideways. So trying to get back has been a bit of a challenge. We're trying to find our way around the challenges, but it takes time.
Yeah.
So yeah. So for now, like, I don't really have much going on. Maybe just balancing between my coding. Coding? Not coding.
Not coding.
No, actually coding, but
Yes,
like
coding.
I didn't mean coding. I meant editing. Editing the podcast and school. Yeah, that's literally all that's going on. There's not much I need to juggle.
I sat down a few weeks ago and I thought about life in high school. Don't ask me why. Maybe I had a nightmare. Who knows? But yeah, I was thinking about it. And in high school, you'd wake up, let's say at least by 6 you'd be awake, or like 7 latest you'd be awake.
Then you number 7 high school. Fine.
Okay, yeah,
Weekends.
5. Oh yeah, weekends.
Hey, but still, you got to a point where.
But
when
7
you're done,
is if
7
you
was
miss
late.
breakfast.
Yeah.
Like 7 you've sacrificed something.
Yeah.
So like we'd wake up at that time and you'd like get ready for the day and you'd go to class and you'd read and you'd do your assignments and you'd accomplish tasks and you'd end up sleeping 10, 11, some people even midnight. Who
You've
was
done clubs and
that?
sports.
And you've done clubs and sports. Who was that? Because nowadays my days have a maximum of 5 hours in them. I don't know where the other time goes. Because like I can't fathom how I was so productive in 24 hours and now it takes me like a week to write
that
one essay.
productive.
One, it takes me like a week.
This is how you know we're growing old, man.
I will. I'm still young.
But I feel like it's because in school we had a structure.
Yeah.
And we knew from this time to this time you're doing this time to this time you're doing this. Yeah, so I feel like because we had a structure in school, it made being productive easier. And low-key you're being followed around to follow that structure. Now that you're the one in charge,
It's harder. Yeah.
It's taking time to adjust.
I think maybe the only key is finding someone to follow you. Clearly we're not good at following
Tumezoea
ourselves.
kufuatwa sana.
Yeah.
It's actually not good, but it's a life we're
It is what it
living.
is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Anyway, sasa tunafuatwa na deadline. Ni sawa.
So, would you like consider yourselves procrastinators?
Yes, to the core.
100%.
By
Let's make
definition.
that. Is that another question?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
let's-
actually is.
Let's get there when we get there. Oh, we discuss it now.
Yeah, let's just dive into it right now.
I am a chronic procrastinator. I procrastinate everything. Yesterday, when I saw that Tamiron had put the snippet up, the audio of the snippet up so that it can be turned into the visual for the Instagram account, Maze, I had woken up to put things in the folder, yeah? So I woke up to put things in the folder. I saw the snippet was up. I didn't do anything. I just did that visual because I knew if I waited, singefanya hadi Monday, Monday ingeniana hapo. So as usual, we have experienced technical difficulties. Because I've come from school, I reached home late, and when I reached home late, ndo hapo nimeketi nifanye snippet. So yes, I'm a chronic procrastinator. We have we have a cat soon. And look at me not knowing anything. And first of all, that lecturer, she hasn't taught that much. She told us that we were going to be talking about, we're supposed to come up with topics. So we're going to be talking about our topics. And that's all we've done. What have we learned? So,
It's worse when you don't know what you don't know. That's when you know kopabaya.
I think for me, I'm also really, and the thing is, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing when I'm pushing it forward. Because I know, then is when I'll have the urgency, and then is when thoughts and ideas will start flowing. Honestly, especially when it comes to essays. I actually wait till like the deadline. And then I start, I'm like, oh, okay, we need to start. So then, surprisingly, that's when like the creative
In account.
start flowing.
Yeah.
And like things fall into place. And then also, you remind me of editing the podcast. I always want to tell myself that I'll edit it when I have long breaks in school. But then those long breaks come and I find myself hanging out with friends and completely forgetting. So I end up remembering on Sunday evening. when the podcast is supposed to go up when? On
Monday. 5 p.m.
Let me tell you, last week it even got a bit crazy. Because I think that Sunday evening I was like, oh yeah, I need to edit this podcast. But then I started watching something. And then I watched, and then I remember we had a meeting from like 9. So I thought the meeting would end like at 10. Then I'd start editing. But then in my head I knew I was clowning because I'm editing at 10. I need to wake up for school tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. So actually that meeting ended up ending at 10:30.
10:30.
Almost 11.
So I was like, you know what? It's okay. I'll edit it tomorrow. So that Monday, a few hours to the podcast being published was when I was editing. I remember that evening I even asked Karen, by the way, when do you publish this podcast? So when do you publish this podcast? She was like, at around 5 p.m. I was like, okay, cool. Nice. So I think that was the first time where during a break I actually edited. Because
you didn't have a
I didn't have a choice. It needed to be done.
I think I usually wait for the panic to set in, you know, like if the panic doesn't set in, you know, I'm not creative.
Someone told me.
work.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Someone told me something interesting about procrastination, though. The reason we keep doing it is because it works.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like for instance, assume you have a 3,000-page essay to write. You could,
3,000 page.
sorry, 3,000 word essay to write. You could, you know, the healthy way to do it would be to break it up in chunks, you know, and do it over a couple of weeks. But also, you could only spend one day doing it.
And it's
And you
done.
could finish.
Yeah.
So, like, why would I spend these multiple weeks doing it, and I could do it in like 5 hours?
And it's done and finished.
And it's finished. Maybe it's not the best quality, but it's done.
Mine is good quality.
Actually,
I'm a
Better than it would have been if you had done it slowly.
I am a procrastinator.
honestly, I
but
feel
I'm-
like if I did it slowly, I'd end up, you know, doing it over and over again.
Oh, true.
No, but for me, I'm a procrastinator, but I'm also a perfectionist. So it's a bad combo. But at the end of the day, like, I
It
don't know.
works.
Last time I was doing an introduction to business class, and we had a business plan to write, and our lecturer was like, "This is a lot of work. You can't." Like you can't do this in one night. I started down from
don't
4
know
p.m.
me.
to 12 a.m. and I
don't
finished.
know
And I finished in 8 hours. 8 hours of consistent work, and I didn't take a break. 8 hours of consistent work, and it was done. And I got full marks. All the marks.
Hey, nice.
Wow.
As just like that.
You know, like during our online education strategies class.
Wow.
Hey.
Oh my god. Okay.
Unakuanga na hizo.
During that class, actually it was this week, we were learning about time management, and one topic we were covering was procrastination and how to understand the mind of a procrastinator.
Unajielewa?
Then in the resource resource works were given. Yes, resource materials. Thank you. The resource materials were given. We were to why am I losing my thought? Oh yes. In the resource materials were given. In the resource materials were given. Wait, don't laugh.
Okay.
You cut that part. Okay. In the resource materials were given, it included a TED video about now understanding the mind of a procrastinator.
I watched that video.
It's so hilarious. Apparently, there's a rational person who, just imagine a sheep. So there's a rational person taking steer of the sheep. Then there's the procrastinator monkey who likes taking control of the sheep. And the rational person is always like, we need to do this. But then the procrastinator monkey comes and is like, nope, we're not doing it. And then pushes the rational person aside and takes this control of the sheep. Now, it only takes the panic monster to come in and scare the monkey so that now y'all procrastinators
What is y'all?
I don't think I'm a procrastinator.
So you're attacking us.
That's actually so impressive.
That's actually so cool.
I'd like to point out Priscilla is not a procrastinator. In high school, notes would be due. Unajua kwanza notes za history. History teachers, walikuwa wanatupatia pressure. So our history teacher used to like demand notes to be done, and Priscilla would be done with them all the time. Meanwhile, Karen is there sitting, ndio your Priscilla nikusaidia na kichabu haraka.
Quickly.
Yeah, so okay, technically from the video, apparently everyone is a procrastinator, but it depends on the level of procrastination you are at. So if you're a chronic,
Sisi ndio tuko.
yeah,
Say our names. Say our names.
for those that are suffering from chronic procrastination, like Pal, Pauline, and Tamira, I
Okay,
guess.
I don't think mine is particularly chronic, but I am definitely a procrastinator. Sijafika at the point where it's chronic, but I'm
What's chronic? Like a few minutes to the deadline, don't submit.
No, you see, I set a personal deadline of like the day before because I know if I say if it's due on Friday at midnight, I tell myself it's due on Thursday at midnight because I know I'll continue till 1 a.m. You get?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I tell myself it's due Friday midnight, I know I'll start it on Friday.
Yeah.
And I won't make it.
Exactly.
Okay, so yeah.
I know someone who's a chronic procrastinator. She's a friend of mine. Let me tell you, I don't know how that girl survived uni. She'd have like 3 months to submit a project. But let me tell you, that night, usiku, before the deadline of submission, is when she's doing the project, and she'll finish it, and she'll get good grades from it. So that one was a chronic, like all her assignments. There's no time she ever did her assignments before, like a few hours. No, there's no, like, okay, all her assignments she did a few minutes before the deadline. She never did anything earlier than that. So I know she's a chronic procrastinator, but it works for her amazingly. Because even then she still aces everything, even with that procrastination.
The guy for that TED Talk that Priscilla was talking about, he procrastinated his thesis. Someone explained to me how you do your thesis in 72 hours. How? That's 72 hours, no sleep. Like it's 72 hours back to back. Like he was saying, he finished his thesis like this, he submitted and he just passed out. Because like his body was like, I can't stay awake any longer. So like I'm scared to reach that level of procrastination. I might just die.
This is inakuanga
Yeah, PhD.
Yeah. It was a 90 page.
No, that's PhD.
90 page.
It was a 90 page thesis. 72 hours. Ni mtu wa kuniambia.
Man, and you see, here's the thing, because it works so well, I'm not inclined to change my ways. Like I know even me, like God forbid, staki kuandika thesis in 72 hours, nitakufa.
But honestly, when it boils down to it, I might just find myself
because at the end of the day, you have to do it. You have to do it. You don't have an option.
Anyway, that's just life. That's just how it is.
So did you do well in his thesis?
No.
It wasn't the
worst
best
paper.
Oh,
It
yeah.
wasn't the best thing it's the worst paper he's written, not of all the theses.
Okay.
Okay. I guess it depends, you know?
Yeah.
It's probably not healthy, but
Yeah, it definitely.
if it works,
it
for
works.
you, I mean,
Sio mzuri. Take it from me, a chronic procrastinator. Hata sahi nilibeba lapi, nifanye kazi. I'm going to delete today. But I know that's a lie. Yeah, but I don't know. Chronic procrastination is not the best. Kuna time nilikuwa na karatasi ya kufanya, and I did it on like the class was at 7. I was doing that paper at 6:40 in his classroom. I submitted the paper at 7:05. He was a bit late, alinisaidia. I got my results back yesterday, 12 out of 15. Comment, hiyo siku lala. Hiyo wiki nilikunya kahawa back to back.
I think the worst procrastination I've done is for studying for an exam. That's this exam I passed. There was one I was studying in the matatu. on my way to school. That was the first time I was opening those notes since I wrote them. And I wrote them like maybe 2 months ago. Like that was the first time I was opening those notes. The worst part is the person who was seated next to me. I think he could just tell I had it ready. Because he goes casually, hata usisome. And I was like, when did you not demoralize me? So yeah, that's probably the worst one I've done. And the worst thing is, I don't know why I keep procrastinating, because I end up being stressed towards the due date. Like I'm stressed, but I'm not stressed enough to do the work. So I'm just there like, oh my god, I really need to start working as I continue watching Modern Family. You know, like it doesn't make any sense, but anyway, it is what it is.
But anyway, since we're talking about time, literally everything in this world takes up your time.
Yeah, true.
So, but like it's so much easier to set time for the things you love, and it's not even it's a no-brainer. Like, tell me to read a book, I will procrastinate that till the end of time. But then tell me to, I don't know, this is from the top of my head, I don't know, maybe go bungee jumping. I'll go without a second thought.
Or like watch a series.
Or like watch a series. Or do something that I love. So, for you guys, what are these things that, like, hata kama uamshwe katikati ya usiku, you're told, okay, go do this. What are those things you do without thinking twice? And maybe you do them without thinking twice. And it doesn't matter if you had like anything planned or you had set out to do this at that specific time. You just go and do it anyway. So, okay, are you getting my question?
Yeah.
Okay, so like what are those things that you love and you deem so important that you can spend any time anywhere doing them?
I think I can start.
Yeah, start with Pearl.
Hanging out with people that I am close with, that in a heartbeat. Like, I can do it today, tomorrow, the next day, the days after that, like any day. So I hang out a lot with my friends from church because they live closest to me. Since Shago. So on any given Sunday, if somebody asks me, unafanya nini? Akuna. Twende, trust and believe. I will go. I will be there in the bandwagon, leading them, in fact. And then I'm just going to church, show people and say, 20, do 50 bob, 20. So yeah, so that's something that I like doing. And then another thing is like anything creative. So I like music, and then recently I like using Canva. I don't know. I'm not like visually creative, so Canva is good because it gives you templates and things to work with. So I really like those creative things. You can give me 500 posters to design, as long as you give me
A
music.
template.
As long as you give me Canva and then like music recently in the background, because what I do is I open Spotify on my laptop and then I use my phone as a like remote controller, so I don't have to go between tabs. Yeah, so I love that. Just listening to music, using my phone as a remote controller, and then just working on anything creative. That's the best thing, which is why now I didn't mind planning those games that I was doing for church, because listening to music and planning them. So anything creative, you tell me, Paul, we need this creative thing from you. As long as I have I don't have to have the psych necessarily, but if you've given me like something small to work with, like here's a suggestion for a game, you work it out. Here are templates on Canva, you work it out. This is the song we want to sing, work out an arrangement. That I love doing creative things. You can call me, I can be asleep, call me, I'll do it. Yeah.
I think for me, it's a couple of things. But the first one, I think, is watching. But here's the thing about my watching. I don't watch often. Like, I'm not a huge, massive fan of like movies and series. Like, I'm not a huge, massive fan of watching. Like, I think the last series I watched, I probably watched like maybe 2-3 months ago. Like, I don't watch that often. But the problem is when I find a series I'm watching, that's the only thing I can do. So I'm like a proper binge watcher. Like, I'm those ones who finishes this entire season the day it comes out.
Wow.
And I will not do anything else unless that season has issued. So like for me, it's like my brain can't think of anything else until this task has been completed. So it makes it really annoying when I decide to watch things like, I don't know, How I Met Your Mother, things with like 9 seasons. Because best believe I'm not doing anything until those 9 seasons are done. And it's so dangerous. Like, I could have assignments, I could have exams, I could have, I don't even know, like things to do. But unless those 9 seasons are finished, my brain won't do anything else.
I guess we're somehow similar because I'm not particularly a binge watcher, but for me, I can't particularly start on another series or another show or another movie until I finish the one I was watching. So it doesn't matter how boring it is, it doesn't matter how uninteresting it is, like I have to finish it. I don't know, there's something in me that will always just
push you.
It will always just be annoying at me for not finishing. So I always have to finish.
Can I just say how different I am from you guys? I can't watch anything back to back for like more than an hour. Unless it's a movie. Yeah, like it's a series. An hour worth of time and then I'm done. So I like
that's like an episode.
Yeah, that's why now I like watching sitcoms that have 20 minutes at episodes. So I watch 2 or 3, I'm done for the day. Like the whole day. You won't see me going to watch it. Yeah, I'll go to watch it again. I'll be sick of it. Then the next day, like 2 to 3 episodes. So I watched like by myself. And then I also don't watch anything at all. Like now I listen to music all the time. So the last time I binge watched was like a year ago. Like a proper series. Now I'm trying to find another one. But yeah, so I binge watched by myself and I took forever to finish it because it has like 7 seasons.
That's so impressive. My goodness. Me, when I start watching, even as I cook, I'll be watching.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's so dangerous. I don't like it. And that's probably the reason I don't watch that often, because I know myself and I know my behavior. But, like, I can't not do it. My brain, I can't sit still. Especially if it's, for sitcoms, I think maybe I'd be more inclined to leave it halfway. Because, they don't really end with cliffhangers unless it's like the last episodes. But things like action, things like drama, I don't watch that much drama, but the few dramas that I watch, where people who design cliffhangers, it's like they designed them for me. Because, like, I'll tell myself, okay, I'll just watch this in my last episode, and then the episode will end on a cliffhanger, and then I'm like, how am I supposed to not watch the next episode? I need to know what happens. So yeah, watching is one of them. The other one is reading, but only if it's a good book. If it's a book that I like. I'm one of those people who has books on her bookshelf that she's never touched, or she's reached halfway and she'll probably never finish them. But I also have books that I opened and I read them in under 24 hours. Like, that's how good they were. So, like, that one, like, sometimes I even say I'm not going to visit people because of it. My family is going to be like, we're going to Nani. I'll be like, say hi. Yeah, I'm busy. Yeah, so for me, it's mostly watching and reading, and then also spending time with others, because it's something else we genuinely enjoy. So, like, I could have, so in our household, we live quite a number of us. Like, it's not an empty household. So, and like a lot of us are roughly around the same age. Well, not really, but like we're not too far apart where we don't have things to talk about. Yeah. So, like, sometimes I'll have assignments, but everyone will be going for a walk. Who is Pauline to stay in the house? Who am I? I equal the assignment.
That one can be done
when the assignment is a new then the walk and I to. So yeah, I think those are the things that I would drop everything to do in a heartbeat.
For me, just like Pauline said, hanging out with people, especially when they're having intriguing conversations. Like, for example, maybe I could be in class and I'm trying to edit our episodes, and then I hear an interesting conversation going on there, I'll drop everything and go be part of that conversation. Like, I genuinely love good conversation. So that's definitely one thing I could find myself doing for like the whole day and not even care that I spent a whole day doing. Just good conversation. Also hanging out with friends for sure. A lot of the times the good conversation is with friends. So yeah. Another thing I'd probably say, I mentioned this a lot. Maybe one day I'll get, an endorsement with Nike or something.
Nike sponsor Tommy Ron.
Yeah. Or like Adidas. I wouldn't mind. You just sponsor me. But anything sporty just puts me, like, it bubbles such excitement inside of me. So it could be, I don't know, going out to the forest. Okay, that's adventurous. But like, yeah, actually anything adventurous.
Do you mean like the forest or the forest as in Msitu?
The forest as in the place in Limuru with ziplining. Yeah.
That means it.
Say, but I'm about to be like, Tommy Ron, where is this where you're just casually walking in the forest?
Couple like at a forest near Tommy Ron. Vibing with the monkey.
No. But like anything that takes me to the outdoors, the great outdoors, that gets me so excited. Also, I keep saying this, but actually I don't follow. I genuinely like it. I wouldn't drop everything to do it. But when I see people do it, I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could do it. That's like when I see people on runs or like, I guess working out. Yeah, when I see people, yeah, mostly when you're walking around, you see people jogging. So when I see people jogging or like, doing some workouts here and there, I usually look at them and I'm like, oh my God, I really wish I could do it. But at the moment, probably I'm not in the right attire. I'm running to go somewhere. Like this morning, I saw quite a number of people jogging and I was like, oh my God, I wish I could jog with you, but I have a podcast I need to go record. So yeah, those are things that I genuinely love doing and they give me so much. But yeah, actually there's no but. It is what it is.
For me, it's practically almost like what Pauline and Tamiron said. Binge watching series, that's a thing I do constantly. I think when there's a new series out, that week I have to sit down and watch it. I have to allocate time. If it's Friday evenings, mostly it's Friday evenings or Saturday evenings, that's when I'll take time to watch. Like when Bridgerton came out.
Could have been flattering what to Twitter.
Oh my! I spent like it was how many episodes? 6 or 8? Oh, you not watched 8? It was 8
seasons.
8 episodes.
8 episodes.
Yeah, and I started at 9 p.m. I finished like at 3 a.m. Around that time. I didn't sleep because I was constantly like, okay, what happens next? And
Cliffhanger.
Yeah. Same thing.
Evil.
So bad.
It's the work of the devil.
Same thing with Blood and Water. Same thing with Savage Beauty. I don't know if you guys know Savage Beauty. Also, another thing I think I would drop doing, like one thing I'd want, like if it, what is the question again? Like I'd drop or
anything you can do in a heartbeat.
Anything I can do in a heartbeat. Following Edgar Barre's stories. Like, to be honest, if someone would text me, I'd say, oh, Priscilla, have you seen this latest story about so and so? Even if I am washing dishes, even if I am doing an assignment, I will stop. I will look at that story. I will follow the tea until I get everything. That's one thing
Mushane.
Yeah,
Have you followed this? Are you
on Telegram.
on
Yes.
his Telegram group?
Yeah.
Of course. How will you know you're a diehard?
Sasa check wewe.
Is it also on Instagram, no?
No, he's normally on Telegram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hiya. I think now we'll diverse to the more, I want to call it, negative side of having repetitive stroke. What's the word? Like, something is words.
Explain it with many words.
You're getting, basically, we're moving into burnouts and lack of energy, lack of motivation. That side of the conversation of time. So maybe an effect of doing the same thing repetitively over a long period of time, or an effect of doing something that is mentally rigorous. So let's just delve into that conversation of burnouts and lack of motivation, lack of energy. To kickstart that conversation, I'll start by, a question. Have you ever experienced burnout before? And like, what is your experience with it? How were you able to, navigate through it? I think we'll start with burnout, then we'll go to lack of motivation. So, yeah, burnout. Priscilla, have you ever experienced it, and how did you navigate through it?
Yeah, I've experienced burnouts before. I think if you've been through the 844 system, you have to go through a burnout.
At least one.
Yeah, at least once. So I remember, okay, I did experience burnout like last week, but also I think there was one burnout I'll never forget, and that was in high school, Form 4. And that one, I think when you're dealing with a burnout, one thing that is okay now for us that now are in uni, I feel like you just need to prioritize or allocate time where you can sleep, because it does, sleep does miracles. Because when sometimes we get so caught up with our day-to-day activities, and then we forget to listen to our body. And if your body ain't working, or if your body is dead, what will you accomplish? Yeah. So you need to listen to your body, and you need to do what's best for you. And if your body is saying, Priscilla, you need to sleep, Pal, you need to sleep, you need to sleep. Because you can't get through anything without energy. So I feel like if you have something that makes you at least restore the lost energy, because like a burnout is where you overwork yourself and all that, and you just are exhausted. If you have something that maybe restores your energy, maybe going for a walk, sleeping, for me it's sleeping, then do it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask this quick question before we continue. I think in my mind I'm associating a mental breakdown to a burnout. So is there a difference?
I think there is, because a burnout, in my opinion, is when you're just like your body can't do it anymore. Like it needs to stop. Like you just need to stop doing
Slow
what you're
down.
doing. Yeah, you need to stop being, not even slow down, you need to freeze. You need to stop being productive. But like a breakdown would be when you're too overwhelmed to continue.
Yeah.
Like when the emotions are too much, or like to the point where your thoughts can't even thought.
Yeah.
I don't know how I was going to finish that sentence, but like to the point where your thoughts aren't like aligning, or they're not.
Adding up.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, they're not adding up. So I think that would be the difference.
Okay. So back to our burnout conversation. Pal?
I agree with Priscilla. I don't know if I had burnout in high school. I don't know if I can tell you I've had burnout. What I've had is like moments where I'm exhausted, or moments when I'm tired. So yeah, in high school I was really tired. like I come from somewhere. I come from school and I get home and for like a whole week my body is not functioning, you know. I couldn't even like after KCC was a good time. But
Yeah.
like even after that I went home and for a solid week my body was still tired, you know. I'm sleeping for 8 hours for like the first time in forever.
Yeah.
Or no, for like the first week you don't sleep for more. I used to wake, you know, the first week you wake
because
up
your body
early.
is still
Yeah,
used
it's still
to
used to
that.
the early. Yeah, so you're sleeping for 8 hours and you're still not, my body is still not getting it. But a time when, I don't know, like I've been really fatigued is like, if I travel from somewhere, and then I don't know what happened, but if I travel from somewhere, usually when I get back home, I have something to do on that day and the next day after that. So I'm spending that whole day. Note, I've just come from traveling, I've gotten home, I've put my bags down, I've gone to do something. The next day, I spend the whole day still doing another thing. So after that, so maybe like came on Saturday, I do Sunday. On Monday, I'm going to black out for the entire day. That's another time when I've been really tired. Yeah, so but also my tiredness is self-inflicted because last semester every day I had to wake up early because my classes started early every day. But every night, catch me sleeping at 1 or midnight. And ndo hiyo mimi naroka 5 a.m.
That
was me today.
At that time, that 1 a.m., 2 a.m., midnight, your brain is telling you things like, you know, it only takes like 5 minutes for you to get ready.
Yeah.
You know the way you used to do this in high school. You'll survive. It's just
Yeah.
one day.
Yeah.
Or you'll come back and sleep after the day. Why are you lying to me? You're supposed
Or
to be
you're
the
like,
same side.
5 hours is okay.
It's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
That's
The doctors recommend like 5 hours.
So last semester I got really, really tired. Like every day I sleep late, every day I have to wake up early, and then at like 3 p.m. I would be hit with a piercing headache for my class that started at 3 all the way until I reached home. Then when I reach home, my headache is gone, so cycle continues. Yeah.
I think for me, similar to Pearl, I can't ever tell you like a specific situation where I got burnout. But also, like, you know how those people, the way Priscilla was saying, you need to listen to your body. That's something personally Pauline, she doesn't struggle with. If my body says sleep, I will sleep. If my body says wake up, I will sleep. I don't struggle at all. Like, this is how you know I don't struggle. There was a time I was doing what was I doing? It was a cut, but it wasn't a graded cut. It was supposed to be like an assignment, yeah. But it was timed. I think our lecturer was trying to test like our speed or something like that. So I was doing it, and in the middle of it, I got like a headache. You know, Pauline stopped. She stopped. She submitted what she had done and she went to bed. Because you would kill me in this one with workload. Sometimes it's a really bad like habit. I don't do it too often, but like when I reach that point where I'm working and I get a headache, like I know even if I was to continue working, I wouldn't be productive. So I'd rather just go sleep. Because I'm wasting time. If I stay here and continue working, I'm just going to waste time. So for me, like I'm very good at listening to my body. So when my body says sleep, I sleep. When my body says you need to go for a walk, I go for a walk. When my body says you need to drink water, I drink water.
Must be nice.
Yeah. Image train.
For me, I don't know. I'm the complete opposite of Pauline. Because I don't know how to listen to my body. My mind just works on overdrive. Like, okay, let's do this. Okay, let's do this. Okay, after this, let's do this, you know. So I don't really know how to listen to my body. I don't even know what my body sounds like. But like, I think that's why I had to ask the difference between a mental breakdown and a burnout. Because now that I'm realizing, I have more of mental breakdowns than burnouts. Because if it's about listening to my body, I don't know how to. Like,
Upatangi headache.
napatanga tunaendelea tunakunywa maji na inaisha.
Me, I don't like pain. Me, I don't like pain at all.
Mimi yangu ishangi tunaendelea tu.
It's like my brain or my mind is just working on overdrive. Like it doesn't matter whether my body is saying stop, pause. Just my mind doesn't want to know. We move. We need to keep moving. So I think that's probably something I should work on, because maybe my body has been wailing, crying out for help, and
You didn't know.
I don't know. But yeah, that's my experience with burnout. Don't know that I've had it.
It's difficult to say like a specific moment you've been burnt out.
Or maybe I've actually been burnt out. I just didn't know that I was experiencing burnout.
Or maybe the burnout came in time with like your nap.
Yeah.
So you were burnt out and you dealt with it immediately.
Yeah. Hopefully even as you're probably going through a burnout, you've been helped by the few tips here and there. Remember, praying actually, for real, praying actually helps. Like what? During those times, was really like, Aki God, please, Appa, just take the wheel. And honestly, he does, and like things, fall into place. Alafu tena tumeambiwa plan. Like at that moment, just, I don't know, close your eyes, count to 10, then open a blank document or get a notebook and write down the things you need to do and how you're going to do them on a fresh page. And that could possibly help, So hopefully you've been able to pick up possible ways you can deal with mental breakdown, burnouts, remember, lala too. Lala.
Kind reminder,
Listen to your body. And kind reminder.
A reminder that, or rather it was a tweet that I saw. It was like, kind reminder, if you're feeling overwhelmed today, remember, I think it was Elijah or David who was told, like they were complaining about like, why did you give me this, God? Oh God, I want to die, God, just take me away from this earth, God. And God was like, sleep, drink water, it's gonna be okay. You're going to be okay, you're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
So today, if you need a kind reminder, just sleep, drink water, you're going to be okay.
Yeah. And also, I think this piece of advice goes out to us procrastinators. Just because it works doesn't mean it's healthy.
Yeah. Don't be like us. Please, we're not saying Paul Tamiron and Pauline said we are procrastinators, therefore you must.
Yeah.
No. We're not yet to set an example. We have to tell you what not to do.
Yeah. And even the Bible, I think the Bible even condemns it, because the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1 to 8, it talks about there being a time and a place for everything. So just, na tulisahau the most important bit, spending time with God.
We'll do part 2 to this episode. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah. But anyway, just, heed the word of the Lord, especially on the part that says there's a time and place for everything. Obviously, surprisingly, this conversation can go on for a really long time.
Yeah.
But we're going to cut it short here. Hopefully in the next, because I believe we need to do a part 2. Surprisingly, we need to do a part 2 of this. We'll talk about, making time for God. But for now, we are going to end it here. Quick reminder. Our wonderful producer made our podcast available on a number of sites. So there's...
Apart from Apple Podcast?
Yes.
Apart from... actually, it's everywhere except Apple Podcast.
And Overcast, because you need Apple Podcast.
Yeah. So you can find us on Spotify, Google Podcast, Castbox,
Others.
We're
Wherever
Anchor
you find your
pia.
podcast.
We're everywhere except Apple
Overcast.
Podcast and Overcast. So be sure wherever you listen to us from, I'm sure there's a follow, there's a subscribe, there's something. Just press it and be part of our established audience. Also, you know, I feel like we engage so much with you guys, but you don't engage back. So please let us know what you feel about our episodes. You know, give us feedback. Give us your thoughts on, you know, any episode, either through our Instagram at P3T Podcast or through our email at P3TKE at
PTT Podcast KE.
P3T Podcast KE at gmail.com. So yeah, thank you so much for taking your time to listen up to this part or up to this end. What am I saying? Thank you. Thank you so much. And have yourselves a nice day, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.